Okay. Hello. Hi, Danielle.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm so excited to be finally able to connect. I know you've tried a few times, and this is
Same.
so great. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm Allie Hively from Keisha Living, and I am so excited to be here with you, Danielle Hively, to
Yay.
share as much knowledge as you can pack into our little chat today about, healthy digestion and just all the tips that you can offer to busy people, women, working moms, just everyone in general who needs to really focus on their digestion. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm super happy to be here. I'm glad we could finally connect and make it work. It seemed like technology was at our wits' end with us, and yeah, but we figured it out. So, yeah, I'm super glad that we're going to be working together, and I think it'll be really good for my community too to have you on board to just help out with habit formation. I know that's something that I don't speak a lot to, so I'm really excited to learn a lot from you as well. So
Yeah,
it'll be good.
awesome. Well, tell us a little bit like about how you got
Yep.
started and what exactly you do.
Yeah. So, well, first off, I guess I don't know if people don't know, but so we are cousins through our husbands, are cousins. So, we are also related. That's why we have the same name. um, but yeah, so my accreditations are a nutritional therapy practitioner and a integrative health coach. So I started back, let's see, it's been a little while. I guess since I first started on my health journey, I would say it was the summer of 2008 when I graduated from college. I went off to celebrate in the Dominican with one of my really good friends at the time. And I ended up, thankfully, it was the last day, but I ended up getting really sick there. And so I was able to fly back and get to the hospital here in the US, but I found out that I actually had colitis. So colitis is super inflammation of your intestinal tract, and it basically looked like I was around like 6 months pregnant. Like my intestines were swollen 3 times the size of what they normally should be, and it was just excruciating pain. So I was in the hospital for a few days, got some antibiotics, and I didn't really have a nutrition protocol from that. They kind of said that I could continue to eat foods normally and I would be fine, nothing would affect me.
They didn't know what caused it, or it was like
So they said, I guess it was like unclean food or water or
it was
something.
something from
I don't,
vacation that like
yeah, it was something, yeah, it was something there from the Dominican that triggered it. So that probably lasted, I think, just under a year. And I think it was that was in June, and it was in the fall. I went to a conference for the job that I was working for in Vegas, and I distinctly remember having a dinner there, and it was a Friday or Saturday night, and immediately I had to go to the bathroom, like was horrendously sick again, like the exact same feeling that I experienced. So I knew at that point, like something wasn't right. So I came back from that, and again, like I just kind of figured out certain foods were triggering it, and it seemed like those in the dairy area were ones that would flame me, for lack of better words. But it's really what it felt like. It felt like you were on fire, just awful, terrible feeling. So I decided to cut those out and like stayed away from them. And then so that was 2000, that was still, yeah, going into 2009. So I did well for a couple years. Like I just stayed away from those foods, and there would be foods every now and then that still kind of upset my stomach, certain fried foods. For sure, but I definitely stayed away from dairy. And then it was in 2013 that my husband and we went to get donuts in the morning, and I've never had a reaction to a donut, so I figured that would be fine. So we go to this local donut shop, and they were filled and with cream, and I just totally wasn't thinking. And I ate 2 of them because they were small, and sure enough, I mean, hours later, I was again put out, and I had to go back to the hospital, and it was just awful. Super pain again, swollen intestines, like the whole 9 yards. So it 100% came back. I think I was out for like 2 weeks. And it was at that point where I was like, this is enough for sure. I have to fix this. And modern medicine isn't really giving me any tools. They're just kind of saying, if dairy was doing it, stay away from dairy. But there wasn't any guidance with that. And that made me feel really uneasy. So I started doing my own research that year and really trying to find different ways that I could heal my digestion naturally without using drugs or antibiotics or all these other things that I was putting into my body. So I started looking into different schools that I could go to gain some more knowledge with this. And I found two of them. And so I actually enrolled in both at the same time. And the one was the Nutritional Therapy Association, and then the Institute for Integrative Nutrition that is in New York. So I decided to do both. I had heard a lot of good about each of them. I really liked the NTA course because it was more of what I wanted with that science background. I really wanted to understand the why. Like that was a big factor for me, was why is my body doing this? And that is exactly what I got answers to when I enrolled in there. So that took about a year to go through that course. And it's only been about, this summer will be 2 years. So yeah, just coming out of there. And it was just exactly what I needed. It was super enlightening. It totally led me down the path towards digestive healing. And since I would say, 2013, I have not had an issue at all. I was able to fully restore my gut. Not only that, I was fully able to restore any type of seasonal allergy that I was experiencing. That was a huge thing for me too, because all throughout college, I always had allergy shots, and allergies are a big one. They're totally connected to digestion health. So that was huge. So it was kind of like all these other things started unfolding as soon as I got my digestion in check. Then all, the pieces just fell together. And I finally, for my first time, I was like, wow, this is what good digestion feels like, and you don't have to be bloated. You don't have to run to the bathroom after every meal. And it was such a relief. So that's kind of, that's where I am now. Having full healthy digestion. So
that's amazing. But it doesn't, like, that's what brought you here. And now that's what you do. You work with clients, right?
Yeah. So that's what brought me here to this place. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now. Because I am so passionate about
what is it
that
you do with clients, or how do you help people basically?
So that's why, that's a great point. That is totally why I focus on digestion now. Through the NTA course, you can find all different avenues that you can kind of branch off to and figure out your niche in your market. And digestion was totally it for me. So now when I'm working with clients, we go through a series of different procedures where we are first pulling out foods that are inflaming towards the gut, and then we institute a gut restoration protocol that lasts about 12 weeks. And through those course of those 12 weeks, I'm walking them through all of the different operations and the systems of our body and how they all work together as one. So it's really about providing, again, that why to all of the clients so that they understand what their bodies are doing day in and day out. So we're walking them through the importance of hydration, the role that plays in a healthy digestion, the role that healthy fats play in digestion and why it's important to include those in your diet, how blood sugar regulation is related. And then we dive a little bit deeper into things like I spoke about, where you're having seasonal allergies, or maybe you're experiencing food allergies, and what that looks like and how this protocol can help restore you so that you don't experience those anymore. So really, it looks like, to sum it up, it's you do a couple tests up front, we pull out foods that inflame your body, and then we dive into this 12-week gut restoration program.
And then you kind of heal your gut, so you then also learn how to manage it with.
Exactly. Yeah, that last 10, 11, 12th week, that's where we really work on how we're going to introduce these foods that we've pulled out this whole time. And are they foods that are going to continue to nourish and serve your body well, or are they foods that you can continue to limit and give up the rest of your life? And so I walk them through that. And again, I'm always explaining the why you would want to continue to leave those foods out, because I think it is really important for people to know, especially just where we live in the US. So many of our foods, unfortunately, are tainted with chemicals, and it's not just that, but it goes deeper. It's in the soil, and it's really hard to kind of eradicate that. So it's important that all of my clients, know that why behind that. And then, yeah, it's going into establishing a really good protocol for them where they're able to eat intuitively and not be restricted anymore.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
I'm excited because I think this is something I don't know a lot about, especially the science behind like digestion and how I know how much it affects like your mood and how much it affects your brain and how much
Yeah.
it affects all these things. And all you hear on TV is like that gut brain connection. So
Yeah.
I'm excited that this is just the beginning of a few, videos of tips that you're going to, offer and just share more about. But can you give us a place to start? Like, can you give us some of your top tips that,
Mhm.
if you're just listening to this and you're thinking like, where do I even start? Like, I'm not ready for testing. I don't even know if I need that, which is something that we talked about.
Yeah.
We'll share a little bit more another video, but give us some place to start. Like, give us some top tips.
Yeah. So the very first place to start is obviously your brain, right? So that is the first place that our body knows that we're going to begin to have a meal. And it begins with the sight and with the smell of food. So that first place when you are going to consume any kind of food, whether it's a meal or a snack, you want to really be in a calm and a parasympathetic, that's what we call it, is a parasympathetic state. And parasympathetic means exactly that. You're in a calm, restful state and your body is ready to to absorb this intake of food and get those digestive enzymes flowing and all of the really good gut bacteria, your stomach acid, everything's going to work together to break down that food and have you absorb all of those nutrients. So that is step one, is that, and I know it's super hard, like especially, we're always on the run. So it's not about being perfect. It's just doing the best you can. So if you can only, right now be relaxed at breakfast or at dinner, then just strive for that, right? So just strive for sitting down for your meal. I really encourage my clients to just take like 3 deep breaths before they eat their meal. You can also just say like a little moment of gratitude, even if you're not religious. Like it's just simply, it could be anything. Like I'm just grateful for the day, for the weather, whatever. Just take a few minutes to get yourself into a really nice calm state. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so good.
So that's the very first place that you could totally begin that is free and easy. And then the next, obviously, as we walk down our bodies, is with our mouth. So we definitely want to make sure, I'm sure all of our grandmothers or moms or parents, whoever, have told us 1,000 times to chew our food, right? And that is 100% true. So we want to be chewing our food all the time because we want to help out our stomach. I mean, our stomach is an incredible organ, but it's only capable of doing so much. And we really need to use our mouth to properly break down the food. And a really fun fact is that in your saliva is an enzyme called amylase, and that is where carbohydrates first start to get digested. So I tell people, like, if you're going to house anything, house like protein or fat, because they can get properly digested in the stomach, but carbs you definitely want
down. You want to like go for the chicken and the avocado.
Yeah, but you want to chew like anything else, like pasta, veggies, fruits, all of that, like chew those to death, like 20 to 30 times. It gets redundant, but it makes all the difference and you will definitely feel better for sure. Your stomach will thank you.
That is such a good tip. And so
Yeah.
start like with your kids, because like
yes,
they don't even know any different than being reminded all the time. But to have that reason why behind it, why chew your food? I mean, of course you should, but it's just easier to eat it quickly, So that's
yeah.
Yeah,
it is. And even if you're on the run, like, okay, so maybe you're not in the calm state, but you can at least take some time, like, especially if you're in a car, like you can chew that for, several minutes. It doesn't have to be like you need to down it right away. So take advantage of the time. Like if you are stuck somewhere and you're eating in the car, then just remember to chew your food there. But those are 2, super simple things that you can do that are really helpful and will definitely help support your digestion. Yeah.
I love that. Awesome.
Do you want more? Is that enough?
Let's go. Do you have any more?
Yeah, I can give you some more too. So another really good one also, again, that's kind of free, mostly free, I would say, is to stay hydrated. So we want to make sure, I think hopefully everyone has access to clean water, but You definitely want to make sure that you stay hydrated in your body. Hydration obviously is key, and we could talk about that from so many different levels, but especially for your digestive system, because it really helps move the food along throughout your intestines. So, and that's a big thing that I see, is that a lot of clients experience constipation. And one of the easiest ways to resolve that is just by drinking more water. And water is not the same as, oh, there's water in my coffee or water in my tea. No, those two things are separate. That turned into coffee and that turned into tea. And those still act as diuretics, pulling water out of your body. So when I talk about water and hydration, I'm talking about actual water that you want to be, exactly, that you want to be consuming. And a really good key part to that too is that you want to make sure that you are not drinking too closely to your meals. So I always say 20 minutes before and 20 minutes after is where you want to keep that water window at bay, because you want your body, like I said at the first tip, to really be able to make those digestive enzymes and get all those gastric juices flowing. And if you have water like right before your meal, you're going to water everything down, quite literally. And your body won't be able to use those digestive enzymes to properly break down the food and then get the nutrients into your body. So you kind of just want to give that space before and after meals. And if you need to during the meal, you can just go ahead and sip water. So I use stainless steel straws, and that just reminds me, like, during the meal to just sip the water or whatever I'm drinking, and not like guzzle it down. That I'm more likely to do, if I didn't have that straw.
So I don't drink when I eat typically. Like I drink so much water all day, but I always think it's bad. And then I don't like having a drink when I eat. I don't know.
Good. That's good.
That's
that's good. I don't know. And I think, people are either like one way or the other. I think
exactly.
I think a lot of times people have heard, oh, like if you drink a glass of water right before your meal, you'll be full and you'll eat less. But you also won't have good digestion. So like you'll be really full, but your body isn't going to be able to assimilate any of those nutrients that your stomach is trying to break down. So you just want to limit that duration. So that's usually a time frame that I give everyone. I mean, that's certainly not to say, like, you can obviously still drink during your meal, but you just want to sip on liquids.
Try to chug your water bottle.
Don't like chug it down. Save that for later.
That's a good tip. Awesome.
Yeah.
Recapping, number 1, stay calm in the best, most calm state you can, even if it's hard, or pick one meal a day to really focus on, and then obviously go from there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, number 2, chew, especially carbs. That's really interesting, because carbs, I feel like, are more likely to be inhaled because they
Mm-hmm.
So I love that about really chewing carbs. That and then not drinking with your meal, but drinking a lot during the day to improve digestion.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, you still want to stay hydrated. I mean, I don't know if you use a different equation for hydration, but I always do half your body weight in ounces, not exceeding 100 ounces. And that's just the standard. And then if you do diuretics, or obviously if you're working out, then you would consume more than that. Okay. But that's just kind of like the baseline that I recommend.
Okay, awesome. I love that. Yeah, it's nice because I don't give like an exact recommendation, and so I think some people, even today, like I had a presentation, and someone's like, "How much water exactly should I drink?" And how much are you drinking? And he's like, 2 cups. I'm like, well, more than that. Like,
that's not enough.
That's not enough. Like, how about you try for 4, and then we'll go from there. But but that's helpful. So half your body weight, not exceeding 100. And why not exceeding 100?
Because then the body just gets too diluted, and you'll start actually urinating your electrolytes, different vitamins and minerals, and you can actually deplete the body that way.
Interesting. So I drink way more than 100 ounces. So I should probably evaluate that.
Yeah. Well, just, do the evaluation, especially, I mean, I don't know how much, if you are consuming diuretics throughout the day, but basically for every like cup of whatever diuretic, you would want to just have another cup and a half of water. Okay. So that it's just like double.
Coffee in there and a cup of tea, it might work.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's probably fine. Yeah. It's probably fine for sure. You just wouldn't want to have just 100+ ounces of water, because you will totally deplete your body of those really important minerals and nutrients that you need, you know, that go throughout your whole vascular system. So yeah, I mean, I don't know a lot of people that do
I was
though.
just gonna say, I think
Yeah.
that's like people, that would be a good thing. Like, don't worry, you don't have to drink that much. You
Yeah.
know? So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are some, super free, easy, simple tips that you guys can start doing now, you know?
That's so great. And I think it's easy to have 3 and you can really start practicing them because they're
Yeah.
not something that takes a lot of time. They're just mostly need to be top of mind. So that is
Mhm.
so helpful. And I'm really excited as we like continue to just share more information. I just feel like I'm really excited to learn more about, you know, all the different pieces of digestion that we can help, but also how much
Yeah.
it affects people and how to know if you're someone that
Great.
a little more support in the world of digestion or if what you're doing is normal, because digestion is something that we don't really talk about. I mean, unless you're having like severe issues, you
Yeah.
don't really know what you don't know, and you don't know what's going on with other people and what's normal and what's not. So I'm excited to deep dive into that in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I think it'll be really good, especially from all the things that you see on social media. And, you know, I think people just talk about digestion in such a very nonchalant and very loose way, right? Like there's not a lot to back them up when they're talking about it. So I think it's really important. You just want to empower people. Here's all the knowledge and then make your own decision, you know, like
that science.
Yeah.
Like, here's what's actually happening in your body, and then you can decide if it's worth it to you, but like, you should know what's going on in your body. So that's
exactly. Yep. Yeah. Awesome. I'm excited too. It'll be really fun. I think these will be really good little opportunities for both of us to kind of share our knowledge and and simply just empower.
If people already are just interested in learning a little bit more about digestion, like where can they find you?
So if they want to go to my website, which is just revivehw.com, just REVIVEHW.com, and you can actually, a little pop-up will come up and it'll give you my top 5 free tips. You'll just get sent to your email. So that's a super easy way. And then you can certainly browse on the site and kind of learn more about my services. And if you have questions, you can send me an email there as well. So
awesome. And then are you on Instagram and?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, Instagram and Facebook as well. I probably do more, I would say, on Instagram than Facebook, but yes, on both of those, same handle. Okay. Yep. Yeah.
Yay. Well, thanks so much for sharing, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, that sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Okay, bye.
Bye.